Welcome to the first ever World Sim Racing Competition, or WSRC. Today, we are having our first ever beta race, which is where the competitors and racers will be competing for $20. It is a winner takes all. Only the first person will get this money while the rest of the grid get nothing. So their elbows will be out today. Expect to see some fierce attacks from everyone on the first corner. I'd be surprised if it wasn't a bit of a bloodbath. As you can see now, they're completing their first ever outlap just before the race begins. We have Cattle in first, Montarinelli in second, Arias in third, Kwong in fourth, Teleganidas in fifth, Rahimov in sixth, and we are off. Montarinelli gets a great start, but Cattle ends up taking the lead with first as they enter the first big turn. They're all in line and no damage on the first big bend. They really want to stay in file here and make sure no one goes out onto the slippery grass. It looks like we get one slightly wide, but they still continue in format. As they continue through the S's now, the main key you need to think about here is keeping your momentum as you go through the bends. With this car, with the GR86 on Lime Rock Park, it is all about momentum. You should be averaging around a 1 minute, low 59 seconds when you're in the highest top split. And we get a couple overtakes from Teleganidas and Workeros as they move up one position. Cattle is slowly increasing that gap with a 0.6 difference. Get a glimpse at the middle of the pack here as we zoom in on Teleganidas, going around, hitting the apex, doing what is needed to maintain his position in the pack. Cattle still keeping that firm spot, but Montarinel is not letting him go. He's keeping that gap within 0.6 seconds. The first couple laps of every race is really just about getting warmth into the tires, making sure you're not understeering off the track. And for those who aren't aware, understeering is just when the car doesn't go where you want it to. So when you try to turn, it just keeps going straight, and it's possibly one of the worst feelings that a driver can experience. So you just really want to be a little bit extra cautious on that first lap or two, get some warmth into the tires, so then they can be at the correct ideal operating temperature, so you can take the corners at the maximal speed. And so far, by the looks of it, no one has done a valid lap because no fastest laps are showing on the pole. As we have a look over here on the left though, we can see that Rahimov has moved up 2 positions, Kwong has moved up 1, Manura has moved up 1, Workers has moved up just 2 now, and Arias has dropped down 5 positions. That's going to be rough. We have Cattle now with a sub 1 minute lap and has extended the gap by 0.6 seconds with 1.2 to second place. It looks like he is in great standing to secure the $20, but will he have the mental fortitude to maintain composure over the length of this 15-minute race? He's flashing his lights. He is happy. He thinks he has got this in the bag. 1.9 second gap to second place now with a 4.8 second gap for third place. They're going to really need to pull something out of the bag here if they want to be able to secure that money. Let's have a tighter look at a battle between Manura and Workerzos. I have destroyed that name, unfortunately. As we can see, they are right on each other's tails, around a 0.6 gap between the two races. The blue car right on the white car's tail. See, he would be looking for the inside now if he was a bit closer to try and dive in and get the move done. But it looks like he is staying in formation, trying to... Oh, and it looks like we have a huge spin out from Manura. Let's get an instant replay of that. As he goes around into the big bend, it looks like he just trail brakes a little bit too much, holding the gas that extra second, but he's able to recover it and not spin out completely. That is an expert move by Manura there. I'm very impressed to see that. We are back to live. Let's check in on the leader real quick. But it looks like he has a comfortable lead with a 2.8 second gap to second place. The field has spread out a little bit now. If we zoom in on Montarinella, my bad, we have a 3.1 second gap as well between second and third place. So unless somebody crashes out, this looks like it's pretty set in stone. But there is still 11 minutes left of this race. Kwong, though, is on the uprise. Same as Rahimov with 2 positions gained, 1 position gained as well. But it looks like Arias is still 5 down, unfortunately. Let's have a look at the back of the pack. And it looks like he has left the race. That is a shame to see. But as you can see here, through this chicane, you really need to be careful not to clip those sausage curbs. Because if you hit them, then your car will be destabilized for the entire rest of the section. You'll lose that momentum and you won't be able to carry the speed throughout the uphill bends. And we know for every uphill section of a track, you need to carry as much speed as possible. Otherwise, the momentum from the other drivers will just zoom by you and it will feel like you're driving a car with 50 less horsepower. It isn't even competitive at that point. It looks like Cattle is in a league of his own, with a fastest lap of 0.6 seconds faster than everyone else. Kwong is unable to close that gap to Montarinelli, and Montarinelli isn't able to close that gap to Cadel. Montarinella. Apologies. As we can see, 3.1 second gap between the leader and second place. It seems like everyone has quite a gap, the field is spread out. This is that moment where the mental fortitude aspect of the race really comes in. You just need to lock in, get in your groove, and just focus on being smooth every single lap, forgetting about everything else. A little bit of a lock up there from Montarinella, but he is able to continue without too much of a fuss. Oh, apologies. I'm wrong. That was Cadel, who is on the back of our back marker, Arias. That's Arias with the GR on the side. So it looks like we may see a lap. Cadel is blinking his lights at Arias, telling him, get out of the way, please. You are a back marker. I'm not trying to crash and lose $20 to you. But Cadel has no patience. He tries to go around the outside to get the move done on Arias, the back marker, and he's able to quickly pass without any damage being done. That is one of the most dangerous moves you can do as a racer, trying to pass a back marker, because you never can quite predict what they're going to do. Some individuals don't even realize that the person behind them is a whole lap ahead, so they try defending, and this inevitably ends in a crash. Luckily for Cadel though, he was able to get through without any damage being done. Montarinelli though, that back marker has given him what he needed. That has helped him close the gap to only 2.8 seconds. It used to be 3.5, but the pace advantage seems to be too much for him to handle. Will he be able to pull something out of the bag and be able to at least challenge on the final laps to put some pressure on Cadel and get in his head? This is what racing is all about. Being able to manipulate someone into doing what you need by placing yourself in positions. And you can see Montarinella is playing mind games with Cadel. He's flashing his lights. He's doing anything to distract him between the corners. This is what happens when $20 is on the line. This is the World Sim Racing competition, where anyone can enter an iRacing race hosted by us and battle for money. And it seems now Montarinelli is trying to pass the back marker of Arias once more. He's going to want to be careful, like I said before, but Arias is not giving up the position. He is staying ahead. He's going, I don't care that I'm a back marker. You're not getting past me. I'm going to have a race with somebody in this team. Montarinella is flashing his lights. He's saying, please, get out of the way. I don't want to crash into the back of you. I am second place. I might still have a chance at first. As you see, Montarinella... Oh! But Arias is playing defensively, staying in front of him the whole way through. He is not letting him have a bite. Montarinella's only hope is staying in Arias' slipstream so he can try and pull out and look for the inside. And that is exactly what he has done. He is looking to the inside for this first corner. And will Arias stay out of the way, or will there be a crash into turn 1 from the back marker in second place? And second place is able to make the clean move past. Now, Montrenalla will just be hoping that Arias doesn't brake late and go into the back of his car. But also, you need to remember the pressure in this situation. Having a car right on the behind of you, even if it is a back marker, that still is another thing to think about. You'll be checking in your mirrors, making sure that nothing is going to hit you, and this can make you miss a braking point, which we all know can be critical. If we check back in with our leader, he is safe and sound, still 3 seconds ahead, but it looks like we've had some movement from lower down in the pack, from Kwong. He has just made a move on Rahimov and able to get past him. Rahimov still up 2 positions overall, Kwong up 1 position. There is a 1 second gap between the 2 rivals. Rahimov will be looking for the inside now on the big bend coming up. This is a great spot to overtake as it is just after a long straight where you can really utilize that slipstream if you're behind another racer. And now as they approach the S's, they're most likely is going to stay in file because to overtake here would require courage like no other. And now we enter the most technically advanced part of the stage, which is the chicane leading to the uphill. Like I said before, it's all about momentum, it's all about precision, and you do not want to be doing what Kwong did there where he went straight over the curb. That curb is dangerous, it will damage the underbody of the car, which will lead to slower laps overall, and it also destabilizes you entirely, leading to a chance of a spin out, which we do not want to see. These races are the closest in the whole pack, with everyone else having around a 2 to 3 second gap. Kwong is looking for something here. He is hoping that slipstream is able to reduce that gap, and he looks to the inside, but it is a fake move. He overshoots it and goes wide. This is why you have to have absolute certainty and be sure you know what you were doing before you commit to a move. Let's have a look at Rahimov now. And he goes, but he just misses his braking marker. And he goes wide onto the grass. That is going to cost him 1 or 2 seconds and possibly a position getting back into the field. Now if we check back in with our leader, he is still maintaining that mental composure. And this is something that a lot of racers don't understand. When you're in first place, it is up to you to set the pace. You need to be checking your deltas, you need to be checking your lap times, because you have no one to follow. And if there's no one behind you to push you, it's a very easy trap to just take it easy. But then eventually, if you take it easy for too long, you'll see that the gap behind you will start decreasing. And when you notice things in a stressful fashion, this is where mistakes get made. You'll push too hard, you'll push too fast, and before you know it, you'll be missing apexes, missing braking markers, and potentially spinning out, giving away your God-given right to be first place. So this is really just a mental game for Cadel now. He knows there's only 3 minutes left in the race. So he just has to buckle down, keep putting in fast laps, and not making mistakes. You need to be careful now to not get too excited at the thought of getting that $20. You just need to be locked in and keep your composure and do what he's been doing great this whole race, setting blisteringly fast lap times. And the gap between the field has extended even more. We have a 5.5 second gap to first. Oh, but it looks like, as I said, Cadel has lost a bit of composure. He must have missed a braking marker as he goes off track. Let's get an instant replay of that. And he goes. He brakes, but it seems like he just didn't have enough brake pressure, and he slightly understeered off the track onto the grass. Luckily for him, he set up a great margin between him and second place, but it did reduce it from a 5-second gap now to a 3.5. That's going to put some pressure on Cadel as we lead into the final laps of the race. He's going to have to really lock in now and ensure that none of that debris from going onto the grass is left on his tires. As you can see, he takes a bit more curb than he wanted to on that corner, but it doesn't affect his line as much. The pure pace advantage he has is so sublime that even after making a huge mistake like that, Montreal is going to have to fight hard to get the move done. And this is now the final lap of WSRC Beta Race, the World Sim Racing Championship. It is up to Cadel to complete this lap without mistake to secure the $20. His nerves would be on fire, his heart would be pumping, his fingers would be trembling as he completes this final lap, knowing that if he doesn't make a mistake, that he will be able to walk home today $20 richer, a man with pride of coming first in the first ever World Sim Racing competition. And all Cadel has to do is complete 3 more corners on Lime Rock Park. This is the first ever 15-minute race from the World Sim Racing competition, and Cadel just needs to compete and keep his composure as he goes to the downhill final corner. Once he completes his bend, he will know he has it in the bag. He goes slightly wide, but it doesn't matter for him because he is able to cross the line as the checkered flag goes, and knowing that he has secured first place Cadel, and second place Montreal, and third place Kwong. This has been the world's first World Sim Racing Competition Beta Race. Congratulations to our winner, Cadel C, who has secured $20 for competing in this race. It was an astounding and amazing performance by him with a clear pace advantage, almost 0.6 seconds faster than the next fastest person on the field, as we can see by the gap having a 3-second lead and maintaining that throughout the whole race. Congratulations to Montreal and Kwong as well for finishing P2 and P3 on the podium. And the rest of the racers, thank you for competing. If anybody would like to join this race in the future and see what we have to offer and potentially win some money, you can head over to WSRC.official on Instagram. Thank you everybody for watching and tuning into the stream. I'll see you next time.